Kansas returns home after quite a weekend last weekend against a bunch of teams out at the Purdue Showcase.
Absolutely.
Welcome Jack Maurice into the broadcast as we've got Kansas Jayhawks hockey here on YouTube against the Drury Panthers. Welcome inside Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. Trying to do my best Ryan Cartman impression. As you can hear, I am not Ryan Cartman. I am Daniel Schmidt tonight on play-by-play. Ryan is unfortunately out of town this weekend dealing with some personal matters. But Jack, the Jayhawks go 2-1 in the Purdue Showcase. What did you like from them in those games?
They looked a whole lot quicker against some of these teams. I think it was a great opportunity to kind of get some more away experience in some of those arenas here. Playing at Advent Health Sports Park here at Blue Hawk, it's a little bit different from here in the Purdue Showdown. So being able to be in a little more, I don't know about hostile environment, but something a little different than constantly having a home defense. But definitely a little bit interesting, both being here after being in Purdue and being on here with Daniel Schmidt instead of Ryan Cartman. Definitely pretty odd for me, at least.
Yeah, we're going to have a good one tonight, Jack. Kansas at the Purdue Showcase dropped their initial game to the host, Purdue. That was a 4-2 loss for the Jayhawks. But then they pick up their next two games, a 5-0 win over the Kent State Golden Flashes, and then a 3-1 win over the Xavier Musketeers. What a weekend for the Jayhawks. We talked about how the Jayhawks, going out of their last home series against UNO where they were swept, would look to grab some momentum back at the Purdue Showcase. They definitely did.
Absolutely, and being able to be in kind of a showcase like that, it being able to go 2-1 is going to be even better.
The Jayhawks are going to take the ice now alongside the Drury Panthers as we have a great one in store for you tonight. The 9-5-1 Kansas Jayhawks back at home with their leading scorer, Jack Rowan Vaughn, 33 points and 23 goals on the season. He will be our left winger on the second line. Jack, what do you like about him?
Well, when you have 2.2 points a game, that's definitely something to like about. Rowan Vaughn is the Jayhawks' #1 leading scorer with 33 points. Only second being Hudson Huber.
8:17 is our time, so they are going to make quick work of that warm-up. Do starting lineups. We'll do the same. Starting for the visitors on the right wing, that's Nick Lowe, the freshman. On the left wing on the first line, senior Brody Bean. And then on at center, it's going to be Caleb Limpert, the sophomore from Parkway South, out by the Jack Maurice territory in St. Louis. Jack, what do you like?
Well, it's definitely a bit different. This Drury team in past years, I'd say, has always been a little bit weaker. I think this team seems a whole lot more well-rounded, and they're definitely going to give a Jayhawks a run for their money tonight.
Yeah, when I was talking to Brett Lothan, he didn't have his full lines figured out yet on the defensive side, but he did have his top pairing that he knew would be there. Neil Serrato at the left D position, a senior from Fenton, Missouri.
Oh, Fenton, Missouri?
Caleb
oh,
Schmitz,
yeah.
the senior from Shawnee, Kansas, by way of Mill Valley, is going to be your right D. And starting in goal, Garrett Limpert, senior from Baldwin, Missouri, as we are going to pause for the national anthem. After our brief pause for the national anthem, we are back, and we're going to dig into these Kansas Jayhawks lines. Jack starting at the left wing, Harry Ives, freshman hometown kid from Overland Park, Kansas. At center, the junior captain, Brett Siddons, ever dangerous. And, of course, on the right wing, senior John Feeney. Jack, a little bit of a different top pairing. The Jayhawks have rolled with this the last couple days. Harry's moved up from the fourth line just a couple weeks ago. Take that top spot on the left wing. What have you seen from him this year? One of the most underappreciated players on this Kansas roster.
He's had an amazing year so far. He kind of started out a little quiet. I mean, he's a freshman coming into a new system. Things are a little bit different than what it was in high school, but he's adjusted beautifully.
If you haven't noticed, there's a lot of purple out here tonight because it's our Hockey Fights Cancer game, one of the coolest things that the NHL partners with teams to do. Dropping the puck tonight for this game is Sue Leslie. Sue Leslie is a survivor of melanoma, and she was hoping to represent her husband as well, Robert Leslie. He beat colon cancer. Just a cool night out here at Advent Health Sports Park, Jack.
Absolutely, and the Hockey Fights Cancer game with the Kansas Jayhawks is always my favorite. It's such a unique experience to have a lot of people out here to come out for a cause like this, just uniting the entire hockey community. It's always one of my favorite games.
If you're thinking about coming to the game, there is a table right when you walk in on the south end. You can go support, and of course you can always go donate to Hockey Fights Cancer online. As we're about to get underway as Jayhawks take the ice against the Drury Panthers. Puck drop right now. Puck is dropped, and Kansas wins it, taken into the back by Blake Hearn. Blake Hearn, dangerous defender, off of Feeney's stick and back behind the net of the Drury goalminder. Drury takes possession now. Drury with possession up past their own blue line, trying to get it into the offensive zone, turns it over, taken by Kansas. Here comes Harry Ives. Harry Ives trying to work past the defense, ends up just dumping it in behind the net of Limper. Drury picks up the puck up over the red line now. Drury trying to get in behind the Kansas defense, and that one's stopped right there by Zach Roberts. In on Ben Olsen, who's in net for the Jayhawks tonight. Didn't get a good chance to talk about the KU starters as Roberts tries to get it up. Kansas looking for a call, doesn't get it there as Brett Siddons takes possession of the puck. Siddons back to Hearn. Hearn tries to get it to his man, ends up having to get it corralled by Zach Roberts. Here comes Hearn. Hearn trying to get possession. Ends up just slapping it away there to Rowan Vaughn. The second line out now for the Jayhawks. He has a time in, and it scores! Matthew Lane on the second line gets the Jayhawks on the board early with a goal.
What a goal. Just completely undressed him. KU beating him with 18:54 left in the first, only about a minute and 10 seconds in. That's exactly the kind of start you want for the Kansas Jayhawks.
Really, really good start for the Kansas Jayhawks. Just 1 minute and 6 seconds into the game, Matthew Lane dumps it in the back of the net, and Jayhawks take the lead. So here's the next draw. We got Malcolm Johnson on the second D line out on the ice now for the Jayhawks. Still the second offensive line out for the Jayhawks here too, as that was a pass intended for Rowan Vaughn, ends up turning over. Ben Olsen, after it gets dumped in, tries to take possession. That's a turnover there by Malcolm Johnson. Luke Nesser right in front of the net, and save by Ben Olsen.
The Jayhawks are looking a lot more skilled than Drury coming out just right out of the period there. It seems like Drury's been chasing the puck after them, while Kansas has been trying to make long strides and trying to move the puck just at their own pace. They're not trying to force anything. They're just trying to get in, move, and find the open man, which is exactly how the first goal happened.
Face-off here, won by Drury. Drury hits it back to the blue line. Drury getting pushed off the puck, and that's taken by Matthew Lane. Matthew Lane streaking. They've got numbers. Lane to Vaughn. Vaughn tries to get it up. It doesn't get there. Great stop by the Drury defense. Drury with the puck now behind their own net. Drury trying to find any way to get some possession here. They haven't had the puck much over these first 2 minutes, Taken behind the net by Bizant. That's a turnover to Kansas. Kansas, Hudson Huber with the puck now. Huber shoots on Limpert and saved.
You can already tell that Kansas is looking quite comfortable in the offensive zone. They're just letting it, they're reading each other's minds. They don't look like they're forcing anything, which I thought was a big trouble for the Jayhawks in the past couple of home series.
Good first two shifts for the first two lines for the Jayhawks. They have the third offensive line out now. It's Aiden Siddons taking the face-off. Puck dropped. Taken by Kansas. Kansas shot, miss, out wide. That was by number 28 for Kansas. There's a save. Nick Callahan there on the stop. Or on the shot, excuse me. Stopped by Limpert.
The one thing that I'm a little bit worried about is the Jayhawks are trying to be too cute there. That one-on-one when it looked like it was Vaughn and Lang, Lang's got to shoot that. He's practically got the goalie beat, and trying to force that last pass isn't going to do him any good. He's got to be comfortable to shoot it.
Huber wins the faceoff, gives it to the Jayhawks. Jayhawks trying to move the puck back behind the net of Drury to Huber. Huber tries to centering pass, ends up back at the blue line. Shot missed out wide by Kansas. That was Jimmy Cannon. Kansas trying to maintain possession, ends up kicking it out. It's going to go all the way behind the net of Ben Olsen. That's going to be an icing. Drury was the one who kicked it out.
Drury's starting to look a little bit frustrated here. A lot of their guys don't seem to be on the same page, trying to clear the puck, leading to an icing, and Kansas is right back in the O-zone where they want to be.
Yeah, Hudson Huber, Braxton Landis, and Aiden Siddons on the ice for the Jayhawks.
Huber's second leading scorer on the Kansas Jayhawks with 19, 1.27 points a game. He has been electric as well. 15 assists on the year.
Draw taken by Drury. Drury trying to find some speed, trying to find some momentum. That's 14, sets it up, tries a shot there. Shot was on Austin Evans. Drury trying to find something here. That's Nick Lowe with the puck. Lowe dumps it off back to Evans. Tries to get a centering pass, ends up turning it over to the Jayhawks. Here comes Kansas. That's Hudson Huber. Huber trying to work around. Ends up getting checked by Evans of Drury. Excuse me, that wasn't Evans. That was number 2, Serrato for Drury. Drury just can't get the puck out. Ends up just shooting it out. Limpert's going to take the puck there. We're going to have another stoppage. 16:47 left in the first period.
Kansas is starting to slow down a little bit here, just trying to go for some drop passes. Not really playing their game, I would say, coming right off the bat. Again, having one goal is definitely a nice pad to have, but you got the one thing that I think the Jayhawks have struggled a little bit is keeping the foot on the gas. They start to let off the pressure a little bit, and that's when those late comebacks start to keep going here.
Fourth line for the Jayhawks out now. That was Luke Lamb on the face-off as Drury takes it, tries to go skating quick here. That's Gannon Stiegel with the puck. Kansas forces him off of it, though. That's Nick Wallington. Puts it in front of the Kansas bench, ends up finding number 26 for the Jayhawks, Thompson Krugel. Krugel dumps it in behind the net of Drury as there's a nice hit laid by Luke Lamb. Puck behind the net of Drury once more. Drury tries to get it around, ends up on the stick of Blake Hearn. Blake Hearn shoots high, just misses. Drury going to end up with the rebound here. Drury off to 86, Stagel. Stagel trying to work behind there to 59. That's Brady Kangas. Shot deflected in front of the net by Olsen. Kansas trying to add to this early lead. 1 minute and 6 seconds in. Matthew Lane puts it in the back of the net as Kansas dumps it in just in time. Get the line change off. Fresh skates in the first line out for Kansas. That one's off the skate of Feeney there as Kansas has this puck now. Kansas with a Harry Ives shoots high. That one hits the netting, and we're going to have a stoppage. 15:32 left.
Kansas certainly liking their odd man rushes here. They've had a couple of opportunities where they've been dominating the neutral zone, intercepting the pass and catching them off guard. They've made the Drury defensemen back skate and back check as much as they can, tiring them out and giving a lot more chances. They just got to tone down the gas on the shots a little bit there.
Kansas' first line versus Drury's third line here as Drury kicks that one out. Luke Nessa is going to have to skate the length there as icing's waved off. Nessa tries to dump it in, ends up getting intercepted there by 76, Louis Fournier. Shot in, deflected in front of Olsen. Didn't get to the net. Puck battle behind the net now. Siddons pressing on a Drury. Man. 18 for Drury there. That's Riley O'Connor. Looks like we're going to have a delayed penalty here, Jack. Somebody's going to the box.
Couldn't quite catch what happened here. Looks like it might be a hooking, I want to say.
Yeah, they're going to get Malcolm Johnson again. Johnson with a safe lead on the team in penalty minutes this year with 21. Excuse me, that's Brett Siddons has 26. He leads the defenders with 21 penalty minutes.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so big thing for the Jayhawks here. they've been excellent on the penalty kill. I don't expect that to be any different, but they're going to need to continue to put on the pressure here if they want to make sure that this isn't tied.
Bullard, Lane, Roberts, Hearn out for the Jayhawks on the penalty kill. Bullard tries to lay a hit. Deked out by the Drury defender, doesn't get the hit on. Lane playing aggressive here, trying to kill off this penalty. 1:38 left in the minor penalty to Malcolm Johnson. That's Stagel with the puck, tries to dump it off right before getting hit by Lane. There's a turnover. George Bullard clears it for the Jayhawks. There's that penalty kill we talked about, Jack.
They do an excellent job of getting the dump, and referee not seeing that. Looks like a bit of a trip on the goal there.
Limpert got tripped. I think just made some contact with Lane there, no call. Drury with the puck behind their net now. Drury trying to get the power play going. Just haven't been able to. Kansas has played really aggressive on him. Kansas goes for a change. Rowan Vaughn out for the Jayhawks alongside Luke Nessa checking in. Hudson Huber also out there now. Drury finally getting it past the red line. So they're going to wave icing off saying that Kansas touched it. They have it right in front of the net. Intercepted pass. Drury with possession again. Drury trying to find something. That's 18 for Drury. That's Riley O'Connor. O'Connor can't get it to the net. Kansas clears again, Jack.
Phenomenal backhand there to waste even more time. And again, I like what Kansas is doing. Put a lot of their offensive-minded guys on the penalty kill here.
Under 30 seconds left in this power play. We got 25 seconds left. Drury's trying to find something here. They haven't got their feet under them yet on this power play. Skating with it now is Louis Fournier. That one's intercepted by the Jayhawks. Luke Nessa dings it off the glass, and Rowan Vaughn's going to have a breakaway opportunity. Rowan Vaughn, and it's taken back and broken up by Cedric Cardinal. Hudson Huber pressing now. 1 second. Malcolm Johnson out of the box. We're back to full strength. Kansas with a great penalty kill. Nessa now battling for the puck. We're back to even strength. Huber with it now. Huber finds Vaughn. Vaughn 1-on-2. He's got a man behind him. Vaughn tries to go 5-hole. And it's away. Vaughn tries to get possession again, but doesn't get it. Harry Ives now chasing the puck. Ives out to Feeney. Feeney kind of whiffs. Just barely gets the puck there. Isn't able to do what he wanted to. And turns it over to Drury. Kansas playing really aggressive as Hudson Huber takes it away now. Huber shot. Deflected. Behind the net now. Drury just trying to get it out of there. Brett Siddons on the puck now. Drury trying to get it out. It looks like a Drury friendly fire there as they finally get it out towards the end of Ben Olsen. Drury trying to find anything here. That's 14, Nick Lowe. Lowe gives it away to 15, Brady Bien. Kansas with the puck now. Brett Siddons skating. 2-on-1. He's got John Feeney. Siddons back to Feeney. Shot saved by Limpert. Great deflection by Limpert there. Garrett Limpert in net as Siddons fights a man off the puck. That's Bien fighting with John Feeney now as they finally get it back out. It's number 11, Silanpa, excuse me. Looks like we're going to have an offsides there with 11:33.
Give him a chance to just calm down for a second. What an I was surprised that we didn't get at least 2 or 3 goals from that. That was ridiculous. I thought we were about to see a little Chell goal there at the end, but Drury just standing on their head. Looks like they're being a little bit too clumped up, too much friendly fire like you were saying, which is going to limit a lot of their offensive opportunities. Yeah,
Drury's got to find a way to communicate just a little bit better as Kansas with the third line out now in the second D pairing. Malcolm Johnson, who just got off that minor penalty with the puck, tries to find ahead to Aiden Siddons. That one's going to go for an icing.
Kansas usually pretty dominant in the neutral zone here. Nothing like it today, but it seems like it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle for Drury. Their guys have just been skating back and forth, back and forth. Kansas making it look effortless with a lot of their strides and the way that they're just finding the open man there, giving them an odd man rush.
Hudson Huber on the faceoff for the Jayhawks here. Kansas is pulling that momentum that they brought with them from Indianapolis. It made the bus ride, it seems, or the van ride, I should say. Drury with another turnover here. It's Kansas with the puck. Over to Huber. Huber has it now. Huber dekes. Huber trying to go in between. Broken up by the puck's broken up by Drury, I should say. Kansas still trying to fight for possession. Huber kicks it to a Drury man. That's number 37, Labutis. Oh, there's a big hit right into the wall by Luke Nessa. That's going to be a minor penalty right there.
Looks like Nessa wasn't quite intending for it to be as harsh as it was there as he stands over and make sure to check in before heading over to the box here.
Yeah, immediately goes, checks on him. Looks like a very unintentional hit there by Luke Nessa, but he still has to go sit. Jayhawks penalty kill, back on it again twice in the first 10 minutes of this game. Andy McConnell said a couple weeks ago that he wanted this team to be more disciplined, and that was what he was looking for. He needed them to stay out of the box. That's what he said before the UNO series. Of course, they didn't stay out of the box. Ended up costing them pretty big in the first game against UNO. And they improved on that in Indianapolis just a little bit, but early tonight, back to the old ways as pucks dropped. Kansas back on the penalty kill, 5-on-4 with the power play for Drury. That's Hearn with the puck, tries to get it behind the net of Ben Olsen. Fighting off 77, that's Cody Lorenko. As Hearn and Lorenko get tangled up back there. Fournier with it. That one shot up into the netting. We're going to have a stoppage in play, 10:25 to go as they're still winding the clock, and now we're finally stopped at 10:22.
Hearn not looking too happy with the officials there, with some choice words for both him and the Drury player. Looking like he was wanting some kind of call on that in their little scrum behind the net.
Yeah, I think Lorenko and him got tangled up. Wasn't too happy about that as pucks dropped. Cedric Cardinal with it, as that's a giveaway, and they're going to call a penalty there.
Jayhawks about to go 5-on-3, or you have to deal with it. Although it's tough because the Jayhawks penalty kill has been so superb this year, and they have about a minute and a half left on that first penalty. It's going to be tough.
Minute and a half of 5-on-3 action as Blake Hearn, we talked about how he might be a little upset about missing that call, gets called for a minor hooking. He'll go sit for 2. Kansas controls the shots 8-3, but with 5-on-3, you got to assume Drury's going to get some opportunities here. So our referee skates over and tells Lane and Fournier to quit it. Drury wins the face-off. Drury with it now. Back to 8. That's Cardinal. Cardinal shoots on Olsen. That looked like it was deflected in front off the pad of Olsen's save. Drury with possession again. Over slapper, save, and in. Wow, it looked like it got away from Ben Olsen. I thought he saved it, but it trickles away, and Drury evens the score here 10 minutes into our first period.
Olsen just coming sliding over. Looked like he was in perfect position, but couldn't quite get control of that. A bit tough because it really looked like Drury had that 5-on-3 on lock there. They had some great puck movement, moving behind all possible shooting lanes, but it just looks like one bad bounce, getting right into the corner. All it took was one simple poke, and now we'll be back to a 5-on-4.
I took a look down at my notes to see who had the shot for Drury, and it's up and in. We'll hear who the goal's on here in a second. I didn't get a number. These Drury uniforms, they're silver on red. They look really good on camera, but they're a little bit harder to read here, Jack, as Drury with possession now. Still 5-on-4 with the power play. Drury gets in behind the defenders and scores. What a goal by Drury. That looked like Cardinal with the goal for Drury, and the Panthers take a 2-1 lead. The Jayhawks led just 30 seconds ago, Jack.
Unbelievable. It's a bit tough. Again, Rowan Vaughn on the ice showing his frustration with after being up 1-0, and now it is 2-1 Drury. A tough shot. I mean, that was just a laser to the bottle there, popping the cap. Not much you could do about that.
Yeah, I mean,
photographer Kyle Eberts with a comment about how quick that shot was. He called it a straight laser. He is ringside right now.
Kansas with it now. Rowan Vaughn trying to even the score up, being pretty frustrated. Ends up getting worked off the puck. Vaughn with it again. Vaughn to Lane. Lane tries to find Vaughn in the middle, but it's broken up, taken away by Drury. Drury dumps it in as Luke Nessa is going to skate for it, and we're going to have an icing.
I have a feeling a big thing that Coach McConnell is going to be talking about at intermission is staying out of the box.
Staying out of the box because the Panthers have 6 shots on goal and 2 goals. And both the goals came on Kansas being on the penalty kill.
Kansas having a beautiful penalty kill so far, especially in recent games, giving up those goals a little uncharacteristic of them.
Kansas still with the second line out. Puck's dropped. Drury wins. Salampa with it now. Jayhawks tried to get it in behind the net. I don't know if it was a shot, as Drury has it now. 3-on-2. As there goes Bullard. Bullard laid a hit. Drury just tried to dump it in there. Still that second line out for the Jayhawks. Lane trying to find Bullard there, can't find him. Ends up getting taken away by Drury. Drury with Vaughn now. Vaughn now has the puck. Vaughn trying to work through two men as Kansas goes for a full line change. Vaughn is down now. He just got taken down pretty good. Gets up, skates it off. Kansas just trying to find something after giving up those two goals, and here they come. Dumps off. There goes Vaughn. Vaughn blew a tire. Vaughn back to Siddons. Aiden Siddons there. Hudson Huber with it now on the third line.
Kansas with a delayed penalty here.
Shot by Huber up and into the netting. We have a stoppage. There's a delayed penalty on the Panthers.
For the first time tonight, Kansas going on the power play.
A lot of penalties here early, Jack. Kansas has had those three, one from early in the game from Malcolm Johnson, and then two more, which led to the two goals.
This is going to be a great opportunity.
Drury, number 59, Brady Kangas, fourth liner, is going to go sit for 2 minutes. It's Kansas on the power play. Puck drop, Kansas wins. Kansas trying to find anything here. John Feeney in the number 1 power play line out for the Jayhawks. Fights on Siddons. Vaughn with it. Here goes a breakaway. That's number 86, Stagel. Stagel on Olsen. Stagel shot. Wide miss. Dangerous play there for the Jayhawks. They would have been down 2 goals. Matthew Lane now trying to find something. Lane cuts back. Lane tries to work it around. Ends up hitting it off. It's number 21, Rowan Vaughn. Vaughn to Siddons. Siddons shot. Deflected. Back. Vaughn with it now on the blue line. Vaughn shot. Save.
Some extracurriculars after the save there. Looks like Lang was doing, or not Lang, my mistake. Bullard going in for some late pokes in, trying to get the puck loose, but Drury players not having any of that tonight here at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast, Jack, that it's been a good home ice advantage for the Jayhawks in the time here, but they were going to have to get out to a good start, and they got out to a good start, and then those 2 power play goals by Drury have really drained them. If you look at the bench, there's nothing. Jayhawks with the puck now. Siddons trying to find Lane, isn't able to. Deflected back to Rowan Vaughn at the blue line. Vaughn with it now on the Orthopedic Alliance sponsorship. Finds Siddons. Siddons to the left of Limpert. Ends up trying to find Feeney there. Not able to as a stick goes flying of a Drury player. Vaughn with it now. Vaughn from in front. Bullard score! George Bullard puts it in and looks up to the skies. The Jayhawks have evened it up, Jack.
What a goal there. Just great net front awareness from Bullard. After getting in a bit of a scrum with one of their Drury players in the front of the net, he comes right back around and evens the game up for the Jayhawks.
Great puck movement on the power play by the Jayhawks. Ends up netting them a goal as that one goes from Rowan Vaughn to Brett Siddons to George Bullard in front of the net. We'll see who has the assists here in a second.
Definitely a better start part of the Jayhawks for the period here. Excuse my mix-up, but it's definitely just been a little bit hard. I think the Jayhawks have been a little bit off their game ever since the first power play goal scored by Drury. It's good to see them back on the board, right back to playing their game.
Jayhawks have some aggression back. They were fighting on Drury there. 76 gets in behind Hearn. Shot off the pad, of Ben Olsen. Gives it back to Hearn. Hearn tries to go long for a hunting. Aiden Siddons isn't able to. There's a turnover by Drury. Hudson Huber now fighting for it. Drury just dumps it in from the red line. Ben Olsen comes out of his net to try and stop it. Looked like Hearn tried to get it out to Zach Robertson, but wasn't able to. Here comes Kansas. Aiden Siddons with it now. Siddons shot. Glove save by Limpert.
Great snipe by Siddons, but Lippert saw that all the way there. It looked like he was going top shelf glove side, but a little too far out for that to amount to anything here. Jayhawks have been doing a much better job of playing their game, and for me, that's dominating the neutral zone and dominating the blue line. The Jayhawks defense has done a great job so far at keeping the puck just kind of from crossing into the neutral zone, giving opportunity after opportunity.
Third line out for the Jayhawks here is Malcolm Johnson tries to find Braxton Landis there on the tip, isn't able to. So we're going to go to another face-off.
Siddon's boys definitely making an impact tonight. Both of them have done a great job at getting that extra opportunity there, trying to do it by themselves a little bit too much, but still some great opportunities.
Puck drop, Drury has it. Drury trying to find the numbers. That's 37. Whiffs on a shot attempt. Drury with it again in front of the net of Olsen. Kansas clears it away. Jayhawks trying to get it out. That's 27. Zach Werner just dumps it in behind the net of Olsen. Caleb Limpert with it now. Limpert trying to find anybody. Limpert ends up giving it off to Cedric Carnell out there, number 8. In front again. Drury having some opportunities here. Shot misses wide. Kansas just needs to get out of the zone, Jack. Kansas doing their best here. So there's Aiden Siddons with the puck now. Siddons just taking some time, letting the Jayhawks try and find something here as he whiffs on the pass, ends up turning it over, but immediately it comes back to Kansas. Drury with the puck again. That's Luke Nessa tries to clear it. Nessa's not able to. Glove save. Ben Olsen on an elementary shot.
Olsen just seeing that all the way through. He's been solid tonight. I wouldn't even count those 2 goals against him. He was put in a poor situation, but is still making the most of it. He's saved 7 of 9 shots tonight for Kansas, and he's been exactly what you need. Also sitting on the bench as backup tonight is Chris Stone, always a good friend of the broadcasting crew. Always like shouting him out.
Yeah, no Kai Vetter this weekend for Kansas as it's Olsen and Stone for the goalies. Behind the bench, or excuse me, behind the behind the net, dumped in by Drury. Kansas trying to get it out of their defensive zone, trying to get it away from Olsen. That's Harry Ives in part of the first line out there, excuse me. Ives tries to find somebody off to Wollington. Wollington trying to skate. Wollington skating with 26. Thompson Krugel there. Wollington trying to find anything. A little bit of a tumble there for Krugel. As we're going to have a delayed penalty. Little cross check, I believe, was that what that was? Or interference, I think that's what that was.
I think they're going to call it as interference here, and it looks like it'll be on Drury. I did not quite catch what was going on there. I just saw a hand go up and a whistle being blown. No, neither goalie really looked like knew what was going on either.
Yeah, I mean, Thompson Krugel took a tumble there. I think he took it on a hit as we're going to have 59. Brady Kangas going to the box for his second time. Last time, Jayhawks scored a goal. Kansas back on the power play. One line out with Brett Siddons. Siddons skates around. Siddons in front. Tries to find Bullard, and Feeney isn't able to. Little cross pass there behind Limpert, unable to get it going as Drury finally clears the puck.
I think that's been their first clear all night. I think it's really been all Jayhawks on the power plays.
Here comes Kansas. Brett Siddons with the puck now. Dumps it off for Rowan Vaughn. Vaughn finding Feeney. Feeney with the puck now, working against 4 Panthers. Back to Lane. Lane across to Vaughn. Vaughn with it now. Vaughn shot. Save by Garrett Limpert.
Tough screen in front of Limpert there. Looked like there was 2 or 3 guys. Limpert staying in position and making just a phenomenal save there. Kansas back to playing their game, kind of doing their best at moving it across the blue line and trying to find both players at the point, try and get something going here. But this has been an excellent power play so far for the Jayhawks.
Let's see if they can get another goal with 1:15 left on that power play. Kansas, here comes Feeney. Feeney comes in, knocks it away, goes to Bullard. Bullard tries to find Feeney again, but is unable to. Kansas unable to keep it in. They're going to have to regroup here as Vaughn's worked off it by 76 for Drury. 76, that's Lorenko. 76 to 18, that's O'Connor. O'Connor shot, save.
Looks like who?
Vaughn laid O'Connor out there on the shot.
Oh, yeah, that was, it looks like, I think it was, Lang. Put Lang in the spin cycle there. Just constantly just spin and spin and spin. Had him by a shoestring.
Still on the power play for 54 more seconds are the Jayhawks. Kansas wins the draw. Luke Nessa with it behind the net of Ben Olsen now. Kansas trying to find something here as knocks it off there to Hudson Huber. Huber still skating with the puck. Aiden Siddons also on the ice for the Jayhawks. Huber dumps it off and nobody's there. Nobody's home and Kansas has to regroup. As Johnson misses a pass to Huber. Huber tips it though, no icing. Shot up and around and cleared out and away by Drury, as Drury's done a lot better on this penalty kill, Jack.
Absolutely. They've been pretty much running circles around Kansas here, beating them at their own game, not giving them any chance for our offense here.
Malcolm Johnson skates it off to Aiden Siddons. Siddons in a battle back there with a Drury man. Drury man fighting him off. Drury with the puck now as we're back to even strength as Kangas comes out of the box. Nessa with it now. Nessa dumps it in behind the net of Ben Olsen. Johnson around the boards, tries to find Aiden Siddons and is kind of able to as Drury gets the puck again. Shot blocked by, looked like he went off his own man. Drury with the puck still. Working around back to the defense. Number 80 for Drury with the puck now. 26 for Drury, out to 11. That's Salampaugh. Salampaugh shot, glove save, Ben Olsen.
Just a bit tough there, just making it a little bit too hard for Ben Olsen in front of the net. Jayhawks haven't played too good in their own zone. Luke Nessa just getting shoved around a little bit too hard, creating that open pocket for the shooter, but Jayhawks need to be a lot better about making things easier for Ben Olsen. If you can make it so your goalie doesn't have to do as much work, if you need him to, you don't want him to be tired at the end of a period. You just want him to be used only if you have to. Jayhawks need to be a lot better about giving him some breathing time and to find some better shots.
Less than 2 minutes left in the first period of action. We're all knotted up at 2 here from Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. I'm Daniel Schmidt alongside Jack Maurice. And Jack, we've seen a good one today. It's Kansas with the puck. Ends up finding John Feeney. Feeney has it. 2-on-2. Shot saved by Garrett Limpert.
Jayhawks need to be a lot better about it. It looks like we've seen that just right point shot, just looks like it's about 10, 12 feet away, giving Limpert pretty much every space in the world.
Face off again. Brett Siddons, Harry Ives, John Feeney at our face off circle. Face off, won by Kansas. Siddons over to Hearn. Hearn tries to shoot it, ends up being covered up by Limpert in front. So we're going to go to another face off. 1:34 left here in the first period. Drury trying to plead for a penalty as one of their assistant captains, Gannon Stagel, the junior left winger, took a stick to the face, and he's going to step in against Brett Siddons now on the face-off. Face-off, won by Drury, kicked out past the blue line. Kansas going to have to check back. Blake Hearn with it now off of a Drury man, off to number 2 for the Jayhawks, Harry Ives. Ives tries a shot, ends up getting it blocked. Ives with a centering pass, unable to find anybody, but John Feeney finds it on his stick himself. Brett Siddons with it, the captain behind the net now to Ives. Ives rode off the puck. So that one's going to come back. Kansas needs to check back up. Roberts finds Hearn as Kansas is going to go for a change here. Kansas with a really interesting change is almost Drury has a breakaway opportunity as down to the ice goes Harry Ives, or excuse me, number 3, Jimmy Cannon. Kansas with it now, that's George Bullard skating with it. Bullard's got Landis behind it. Bullard tries to shoot, whiffs, misses, still has possession, but rode off it by number 2, Neil Serrato. Kansas with the puck again, tries a centering pass to Rowan Vaughn. Vaughn shot, miss. Kansas, Vaughn goes and chases the rebound. Drury trying to find any offensive possession here in the last 47 seconds, as it looks like we had a clock error. We have 20 seconds over here, but they have 43. Drury tries to get in behind Kansas and almost does. Malcolm Johnson, some bad positioning there. Drury gets behind him, but no harm, no foul as Kansas is able to check up. Lane rides a man off the puck. as that one's going almost into the net.
Oh,
Ben
boy.
Olsen. 22 seconds left. Kansas finds man. They have 2-on-1. Bullard shot, deflected, almost has an opportunity to go in. Bullard can't get his own rebound. Bullard fighting off. Kansas keeps it in. That's Malcolm Johnson. Johnson shot, glove save by Drury. 9.6 left on the clock.
Kansas, as rough as they've been kind of keeping it on their own blue line, they've done an amazing job of sticking one or two guys up there kind of on the Drury blue line and just camping them out there, letting them just kind of get an odd man rush. They've had a couple of opportunities like that. I mean, that's the Kansas's game, though. They dominate in the O zone.
Waiting for the puck drop here as it's the second line out for the Jayhawks and Matthew Lane taking the face-off. So they're going to ask Lane to vacate the face-off circle and bring in Rowan Vaughn after an infraction. Puck's dropped, won by Drury. With under 10 seconds, can't imagine Drury's going to try and do anything except for get it out of their zone, and they do. As we're going to head into the first intermission, where we started, Jack, tied this time at 2-2.
Kansas needs to be a lot more aggressive in the offensive zone. It's been a little rough seeing them just kind of having these kind of chances and just either throwing something in the net or just kind of waiting a little bit too long. I'm sure Coach McConnell and Coach Pruitt are going to definitely have some things to say about being disciplined as well.
Yeah, the Jayhawks took 3 minor penalties in the first period. 2 of them coming by them. There's your 2 goals for Drury. Knotted up 2-2 after a George Bullard and a Rowan Vaughn goal for the Jayhawks. We'll step aside for intermission. We'll be back in just a couple minutes here on the Jayhawk Hockey YouTube channel. back inside Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk as we're tied up 2-2 after the first intermission. 20 more minutes on the clock, Jack. What do you want to see from Kansas here in the second period?
I want to see a whole lot more aggression than what I saw in whatever the last half of that first period was. Kansas looked like they were shying away from those one-on-ones and in hopes that maybe, fears that maybe they were overcommitting a little bit, but I completely disagree. I think that they needed to be a lot more pushier with what was going on, and Drury, I don't think is really prepared for the aggression that Kansas showed in the first couple of minutes of the first period, which ended up causing that first goal by Kansas.
Let's see what adjustments were made during the first intermission. We're ready for puck drop in the second period of action as Drury wins the puck drop. Drury with it now. Their first line out, that's number 8, Cedric Cardinal. Cardinal ends up giving it away to Brett Siddons. Kansas first line out. Ives with it now. Ives with Feeney behind. Ives shot. Stopped away. And Kansas trying to get possession back. Unable to as Brett Siddons on the puck. Playing very aggressive here. Drury with numbers. 3-on-2. Missed pass there from Neil Serrato. Kansas trying to fight off and get possession. Brett Siddons with it now. Siddons off to Ives. Ives shot wide. Corralled around. Blake Hearn ends up with it. As Hearn tries to go to lane, is not able to. Hearn takes it back into his own defensive zone. Hearn with the puck now, with Ives still on the ice. Ives working through 3 men. Ives circles around, dumps it off behind the net to Matthew Lane. Lane around, tries to find Bullard on the one-timer, unable to get it there as Drury soars it through the air. Drury with possession of the puck now. So they're trying to find some offensive momentum here. Start of the second period. So they corral it around, trying to find anything to get anything going here, I should say. So that one's out in open ice. Has to be chased down by O'Connor. O'Connor sticks it behind the net to Lorenko. Lorenko with it. Lorenko getting fought by Lane. Tries to find a pass to 76. Or excuse me, that is to Fournier, 76-77. Getting me confused, Jack. Drury just keeping the pressure on. Shot wide. Tried to go for the ricochet there. Luke Nessa in the area for Kansas. Behind the net now, that's Lorenko. Nessa gives it off to Vaughn. Nessa with it again. Nessa, defenseman skating, finds George Bullard. Bullard taps it up over into the Drury defensive zone. Drury's going to have to regroup here. So here they come. That one's tipped by Aiden Siddons, broken up. They were going for Lorenko there. Lorenko still on the ice, long shift. Lane trying to fight off Salinpa. It's number 80 for Drury there. Gives it off. Unsuccessfully, Luke Nessa with it. Shoots it up, trying to find Rowan Vaughn. Vaughn tips it, goes for the line change. As it's the third line out now for Kansas. Jimmy Cannon on the ice. Oh, that's Braxton Landis, excuse me.
Feels like Kansas and Drury have switched play styles here. One has just become an aggressive machine.
Drury fighting hard, that's Fournier. Fournier in front. That one's going to take the net off his bearings as a Jayhawk and a Panther, go colliding into the net of Ben Olsen. And our referees are going to get that net back on its bearings. Dealing with some camera difficulties here. Apologies for that. We're trying to get it all worked out as we have 16:58 on the clock here in the second period.
Kansas is going to need to be a whole lot better at just what they were doing more in the first period here. They were doing a lot better at kind of intercepting those passes, at being hyper aware of what was going on. Looks like Drury has just been muscling past them.
Kansas wins the draw. Vaughn off to Siddons. That's 28 for Kansas. That's Nick Callahan. Callahan intercepts the puck now. Gives it off. Tries to find Hudson Huber. That's a turnover by the Jayhawks. Drury trying to find a man, unable to. They would have had a one-on-one opportunity on Ben Olsen. Kansas playing some good defense there, Jack.
Absolutely, doing a lot better job at what they do best, and that's keeping the puck in the O zone.
Warner with the puck ends up trying to find somebody and not able to. That one's up and into the rafters, and it doesn't come down. That one's probably the highest one we've seen. That one gets up onto the air conditioning. You can't see it. There's a giant ductwork up there, and it's sitting on top of it.
Looks like Advent Hall Sports Park is getting a souvenir tonight as it just flying up into the rafters there. Haven't seen anything like that before.
We will try and figure out why it says expanded on the camera, but for right now, we're just going to ride with it.
Hashtag expand the game here.
Don't shrink the game, expand it. Drury with the puck now in the Kansas end. Drury shot. That one's wide, missed. Drury's right in an opportunity. That's 37 for Drury. Labutis had an opportunity to put it in, isn't able to. Kansas trying to get some momentum here. They haven't had any to start this. So that's 13, Luke Lamb with the puck. Jayhawks fourth line in. A little puck battle behind the net of Limpert. So there goes a Jayhawk down to the ice, and we're going to have a penalty, I assume, against Drury for a tripping. We'll see who they take to the box, and it is going to be a Panther. Looks like we're going to have someone go sit for Drury here for 2 minutes for a tripping. That's number 26, Caleb Limpert. Went to Parkway South with Garrett Limpert. Kansas on the power play once more. They had one really good power play and one power play that didn't work too well. 2 minutes on the tripping to Caleb Limpert. Kansas with it now. Back to Vaughn. Vaughn on the blue line. Vaughn over to Siddons. Siddons back to Vaughn. Vaughn shot deflected by Drury. Feeney with it now. Feeney dumps it off to Siddons behind the net. Siddons around, ends up hitting George Bullard, and that one is in. John Feeney on the deflection. Great goal for Kansas as they take the lead once more. A little anticlimactic goal there as George Bullard fighting for the puck, ends up giving it to Feeney. Feeney puts it in the back of the net easily.
That was perfect by Feeney. You can kind of see there he's waiting for the puck. He's not just going to go in and just shove it in and have another puck go right into the Raptors. He's going to wait, get a little bit of control. He knows the goalie has already overcommitted all the way on his right side. Feeney has all the time in the world to make sure that he's going to be pinpoint accurate and get that puck in the net there. Doesn't need to have a bunch of fanfare. All it needs to do is cross that line.
Third line out for the Jayhawks. Hudson Huber takes the face-off. Kansas wins. Kansas with the puck now. That's Luke Nessa. Or excuse me, that's not Luke Nessa. That's a shot there by number 20, Braxton Landis. Kansas tries to corral the puck. That's the first defensive line out there of Zach Roberts and Blake Hearn. And there's an opportunity for Drury, number 7. That's Austin Evans. Couldn't get it off his stick. Kansas with the puck now. That's Landis. Landis tries to give it off to Huber. Huber corrals. Huber skating up past the center line. Huber still with the puck, fighting off 4 Panthers. Huber around. Almost had an opportunity for a highlight goal. Isn't able to get it on his stick. And here comes Drury with a breakaway. That's number 14, Nick Lowe. Nick Lowe all in on himself, and glove save by Ben Olsen.
Just a highlight reel scene for Huber there. Just incredible little shot there. I was kind of surprised that he wasn't able to get in. It looked like he had him beat all the way, but looks like he kind of overdid it by himself a little bit too much, causing that odd man rush. But Ben Olsen stands tall again.
Bet you Hudson Huber wishes he had that one for the highlight reel, because that would have been nice.
Oh, absolutely.
As we have gorgeous. Garrett Limpert coming to the net. I think he got shooken up on the goal from Feeney earlier. I saw him skating around, looked in pain, and Limpert's going to come off. That's going to be the backup for Drury.
Henderson, it looks like, should be coming in here.
32. We don't have a 32 on our roster. We're going to try and figure out who's in net now.
Bit of a surprise entrance at net. We'll have to see what ends up happening.
Yeah, Limpert goes back to the locker room. We'll keep you updated. Malcolm Johnson with the puck now. Kansas trying to get it out. Back to his. Drury hits it back to Johnson's line mate, Nessa. Nessa finds Johnson again. Johnson to number 2 for Kansas, Harry Ives. It's a one line out for Kansas. Kansas fighting behind the net of this new Drury goaltender who we don't have a name on. Back to Feeney. Feeney has an opportunity, scores. Feeney goes top corner, and the Jayhawks take a 2-goal lead.
That was disgusting. You could just see that go, hit the top corner, roll back, right back around. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks like we have our roster is a little bit different than what the ACHA has. That's Dylan Gons in net. So that's the goal on Gons there. Feeney with his second goal of the night, threatening the hat trick here early. 23 shots on goal for Kansas.
What a laser. You could just, that was pinpoint accurate. That's everything that you want to see.
He had about 3 to 5 business days to set that shot up, and he pinpointed it right in that top left corner of the net. Jayhawks with a 2-goal lead as we're back underway.
Looks like Jayhawks are finding a little bit more of that swagger that they had in the first period.
Johnson finds Siddons as the Jayhawk one line still out. Siddons skates around with it. Siddons shot deflected on the pad by Gons. Siddons knocks it down with the hand. Siddons skating around with it. Siddons trying to work in. Looks like we're going to have a penalty on Drury. Might get him for a hook.
Tough situation to be in if you're Dylan Gons. Coming right in, immediately having that goal scored on you, and then getting right on the power play. You have to deal with the Jayhawks' lethal power play. They already have 1 goal tonight. We'll have to see if they could extend this lead to 3.
Cody Lorenko going to sit for 2 minutes on a hooking against Brett Siddons. Jayhawks on the power play once more as puck is dropped. Rowan Vaughn with it now on the blue line. Vaughn dishes it off to Lane. Lane around to Siddons. Siddons shot right in to the chest of Gons. Save.
Looks like it was a bit of an awkward shot there. Thought it was going to go through the crevice in between his side and in between his elbow, or yeah, it looked like his inner elbow, but bounced off and he was able to get control of that puck.
Kansas wins the draw. Rowan Vaughn now off to Siddons. Siddons across, deflected by Drury. That's Riley O'Connor, the captain. Back to Vaughn. Vaughn to Siddons. Siddons in front, up high off the glass, no good. It's Lane with it now behind the net of Gons. To Bullard. Bullard to Siddons, excuse me. Siddons with it now skating around. Siddons gets a man to dive. Siddons back behind, tries to find Feeney, unable to. Vaughn shot, and it's kicked away from the net. Drury finally clears the puck. 1:18 left on this power play for Kansas. As that's a missed pass there, Drury's going to have an opportunity. 24 for Drury. That's Caleb Schmitz, and that one's going to not be good.
That was a rocket. I would have loved to get a speed check on that there. It just almost like a Vladimir Tarasenko shot, all in the shoulders. Rough.
Vladimir Tarasenko, man. Blues legend, Sens legend.
Sens legend.
Ottawa Senators legend, Vladimir
all 3
Tarasenko.
months.
All 3 months. It was not a fun 3 months. He was a good player, but the Sens were not. Puck dropped again. That's the second Drury stick we've seen go flying. They might need some, was it spider tack they used in the MLB? Might need some of that as Hudson Huber with it now on the power play. Huber deking around. Huber cuts back with it. Huber passes it off to Johnson. Malcolm Johnson with it now. Johnson across to Huber. Huber with it. Huber shot. No good. Deflected back to Nessa. Nessa to Johnson. Johnson and Nessa. That one goes offside. Jayhawks are going to have to check back. 33 seconds remain on this power play, Jack. Jayhawks have the second power play unit out there.
You can see Malcolm Johnson just wanting and itching for that slap shot one-timer at the point. He had
Johnson's shot blocked by 86. Gannon Stagel. Kansas with it again. Aiden Siddons finds out to Nessa. 13 seconds left. Nessa to Johnson. Johnson tries to find a man, unable to. Aiden Siddons has it behind the net now. 10 seconds to Huber. Huber, 5 seconds left in this power play for Kansas. Huber across, and that one is in for Kansas. That one is going to be in. Goal for the Jayhawks. Hudson Huber just has to tap it in, as that's about as perfect of a pass as you can get the Jayhawks take a 3-goal lead.
Absolutely. I would love to be right behind that net and see how that all transpired. It looked like he just threw it on net expecting it to bounce off, but looks like Gons couldn't really get a grasp or see where it was, and it just glides right past him into the net. And now the lead has become 5-2 for the Jayhawks after starting this period tied at 2 apiece.
Jayhawks sitting in the 4th line out now as Braden Shrew, the extra, takes the face-off. Drury with it now, trying to find anything here. Drury around. That one's batted in front, tried to go for a little baseball-like goal, unable to for Drury. Blake Hearn shoots it up the ice. Looks like it got tipped by Drury. I don't think we'll have an icing, and then we are going to have an icing, Jack.
Unbelievable.
I thought it got tipped there by Drury.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. We've got a bit of a awkward point of view from where we're standing at here. It's 11-12 left in the period here at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk here on a beautiful Hockey Fights Cancer night. It's a great crowd. We've got some great fundraising up front, so to see how you can help.
Face-off won by the Jayhawks. Here comes Nick Wollington. Nick Wollington one-on-one. Wollington gets rode off the puck, unable to find anything as Drury takes possession. Drury shoots it up now as that's Zach Roberts, assistant captain, going to corral it behind the net of Ben Olsen. Finds his line mate, Blake Hearn, who puts it away. Drury's trying to find anything right here. That's 26, Thompson Krugel for the Jayhawks. Krugel fighting off as Jayhawks just shoot it in behind the net of Dylan Gons. Krugel playing really aggressive here, showing why he's getting minutes at this point of the season. Drury with it now. Drury dangling in. That one's a shot in front of the net of Ben Olsen and in. Score. Count it for Drury as that one just trickles in.
It looks like it was a bit of an awkward bounce. Olsen didn't quite have track of the puck, and it just goes over his left pad into the back of the net. Not much you could really do about that.
Yeah,
except keep your eye on the puck.
Ben Olsen coming into the season's been very good for Kansas, but tonight he's just been unlucky, Jack. I mean, looking at his stats coming into this, he's got a 3.00 GAA, 6-5, 915 save percentage as the puck is dropped. Kansas shot, no good against Gons. Looked like Feeney with the opportunity. Kansas has the one line out now. Feeney fighting for the puck there. Harry Ives has it now. Ives out to a man, and that one's no good. He hit the post. He hit the post. That was Harry Ives with it. Shot, no good. Brett Siddons with an opportunity. Dylan Gons really showing some might right now for Drury. John Feeney with it.
Unbelievable how that goal didn't go in. It looked like it rocketed in and out there, but referee call there.
It's Jimmy Cannon, wearing number 3 for the Jayhawks on the 3rd D pairing. Drury with it, trying to find a man in front. That was just going to get covered up by Olsen. Great play by the Kansas D.
Good choice by Olsen to just slow down the game there. Looking like it got a little bit out of hand after that rocket at the left point, but I thought clearly went into the net there. It looks like it only bounced off the post to kind of let the whole team readjust here and get on another offensive prowl there.
Matthew Lane and the Jayhawks second line, out now. Puck is dropped. Drury wins. Drury with possession now. That's number 5, Caleb Kernick. Fighting off the puck, Kansas is Matthew Lane trying to get it out of there. Lane able to. Lane finds Bullard. Bullard with it now. Jayhawks have 2-on-3, so he's going to dump it in, try and get a better look. Bullard behind the net now. Takes a little hit. Puck still behind the net. Jayhawks clear it out. That's Luke Nessa now. Nessa shot high off the glass. Ricochets around Johnson. Johnson slap shot off of 77. Cody Lorenko for Drury. Drury just taking their time right now. As here goes Rowan Vaughn. Kansas is going to shoot it around. Matthew Lane just corrals it around, he corrals it around the boards, I guess would be a good way to say it. And Drury has numbers. Here comes Drury. 76, shot wide. That was Luis Fournier there on the shot. Just goes a bit wide. Fast-paced game right now. Both teams trying to get this next goal because with how the momentum's been shifting, Jack,
This is anybody's game.
This is anybody's game. Kansas has to check up before they can touch the puck on the delayed offsides. That one's into the Kansas bench and into the lap there of Zach Roberts. We're going to get that out. 8:19 left in the second period.
The Drury players taking some notes out of Kansas's book there, chilling over the blue line. You could hear them smacking their stick, trying to get the forward pass to get another odd-man rush, as it looks like we are going to get a goalie change as Garrett Limpert is going back in net for the Cougar Panthers, whatever they are. There's some form of Tiger.
Dylan Gons gave the Panthers a good look out there, getting thrusted in without much warning. Puck is dropped, won by Drury. Drury with it now. That's number 24 for the Panthers, giving it off. That's 86 shot, no good. And a Drury Panther goes in to Ben Olsen's. Kansas now running with it. Kansas with the puck now, and it's rode off by the Drury defense. Great play by the Panthers there. Kansas keeps it over there, though. So it's 19, Blake Hearn. Around with the Jayhawks' third line. Hudson Huber hits a man, and that's going to be an interference. Delayed penalty on Kansas.
Easiest thing you can call is if you're a referee there. He's right in front of you. Just a quick stick to the back, face into the boards. That's a hard penalty to take for the Jayhawks here. And again, I'm almost 100% sure Coach McConnell and Coach Pruitt have both stressed about staying disciplined, and I'm sure neither of them are too happy about this penalty.
Yeah, it's coming at a pretty crucial point in the game. 2 minutes, Hudson Huber will sit for interference. 5-3, Jayhawks have a 2-goal lead, but with how the momentum's been shifted, this is still anyone's game.
Absolutely.
Drury wins the face-off. Drury still with possession as Matthew Lane goes back. Drury with it on the blue line. Drury around. That's 76, Luis Fournier. Fournier to 77, Lorenko. Back out to 8, Cedric Cardinal. Cardinal finds Serrato. Serrato back to the captain, Riley O'Connor. Back in front to Fournier. A lot of names here, Jack. Fournier has possession again. Fournier trying to dangle it in. Great play there by Blake Hearn. Ride him off the puck. Make him take it back. O'Connor kicks it back to Lorenko. Lorenko to O'Connor. O'Connor, slapper, goal! Deflection goal right there on the slapper by Cody Lorenko. And Drury draws within one, Jack.
Just a rough goal here. What was once a 3-goal lead has turned into only one. They still have just a little bit of padding, but this is the last place you want to be. It looks like it was just a quick shot that ricocheted off some players and into the back of the net. Did look like Ben Olsen got a piece of that.
Yeah, Drury finding their footing here, Jack. They came out flat and they figured it out real quick.
This has been a constant back and forth game. Both of these teams have made the exact adjustments that they need to make. It's anybody's game at this point.
Drury with the puck now. Drury behind, trying to work it behind the net of their own net, of Limpert. Drury fighting with the puck now. Johnson gets in, Drury gets in behind Johnson. Drury still fighting. That one's taken by Johnson to Siddons. Siddons up front to Ives. Ives across the line to Feeney, but will turn over there as it goes back to Luke Nessa. Jayhawks just trying to get something going on the offensive end. They don't have any of the momentum, Jack.
Not at all.
Behind the net of Garrett Limpert. Brett Siddons goes diving to keep that puck over there. Kansas has 3 behind.
Jayhawks sticking with the cherry picking a little too much there as there's...
Shot deflected by Olsen. Kansas trying to get the puck out of their own zone. John Feeney now. Feeney to Siddons. Fought off. Turns it over. It's behind the net of Ben Olsen as Drury's going to go for a line change. Harry Ives gets turned around but still finds the puck behind the net of Ben Olsen, I should say. Ives with it now, skating quick. Ives to Bullard. Bullard shot deflected with the stick by Limpert. Gives it back out to Kansas number 28, Nick Callahan.
Jayhawks playing a little too soft right now, just daintily passing the puck between each other. Just not at all the same team that we saw coming into this period.
The Jayhawks don't have the momentum, and they don't have the attitude right now. You can see it. Callahan gives off to Cannon. Drury has 3 guys there. Drury's going to have an opportunity, and they're going to call him offsides. Offsides against Drury on what would have been a 2-on-1.
You could see the Drury player standing in that split position there, trying to plead his case, but it looks like he was just a bit too late.
Neutral zone face-off, won by the Jayhawks. Jayhawks just need to find something here. They don't have any of the momentum. They don't have any of the attitude. Got to find it quick here before Drury ties this one up. That's Caleb Limpert with it now. In front of the net, Ben Olsen. That one's a shot up into the netting, and we'll have a face-off.
They're relying a little too much on Ben Olsen here to just kind of bail them out on some of these shots. They can't be lazy in front of the net. Drury has done an excellent job of converting on those net front chances here. Not quite too much that they can do about that, but Kansas needs to put the attitude back into their game and start playing the way that I know Coach McConnell and Coach Pruitt are going to want them to play.
This is a really good goalie for Kansas in Ben Olsen, and 915 save percentage on the season going into this game at 80% tonight. Cross-ice pass from Drury. Lane gets in, and Kansas is going to have an opportunity to Vaughn. Vaughn's shot blocked. Vaughn again, second chance. That one's covered up by Limpert. Looks like we have some extracurriculars there as a Jayhawk and a Panther get tangled up. It's going to be Richard Bisnat for Drury getting tangled up with Rowan Vaughn. Looks like Vaughn's going to go sit. Another penalty, Jack.
It feels like a trap here. To be put in this situation again, Jayhawks down 1. Their penalty kill has not been what it usually is here. Their penalty kill, it feels like some games there's just like 5-on-5 or like a power play here, but they have just been beaten at every corner by Drury tonight.
Kansas with the first penalty kill line out, led by the captain, Brett Siddons. He leads by example. He skates end to end on the penalty kill. Some of the most effort you've seen. Shot by Drury in front. They had an opportunity there for Lourenco, but Lourenco wasn't able to put it in the back of the net for his second goal. Drury reorganizing now. That's Serrato. Serrato finds a centering pass to O'Connor. O'Connor takes it back, taking it slow now, Drury is. Fournier with it to O'Connor. O'Connor shot. That one is still in front of the net. Ben Olsen tried to cover it up, but wasn't able to. Kansas with possession now as Blake Hearn's going to flip that one down and clear it. 1:30 left on this power play for Drury.
Feels like the first time in a while that the Jayhawks have been able to clear it on a power play here. Drury has been all over the O-zone.
Drury with it now. That's Fournier, working it up. Fournier passes it off to O'Connor. O'Connor to Serrato. Serrato unable to get a shot off as Kansas plays some good defense, and they clear. What a play by Zach Roberts, Jack.
Zach Roberts' hockey IQ is off the charts. I'll always say that when I get the chance to commentate for him. He is one of the smartest players you'll ever see on the Jayhawks.
From Massachusetts, he knows more hockey than pretty much anybody else on this team.
He's 6'5", 220. He's also somebody that you shouldn't really be too keen on running into.
No, not a fun guy to run into.
Jayhawks are finally going to get an opportunity to maybe have some offensive time in the Drury zone. Hopefully we could see some of the Jayhawks penalty kill that we've grown accustomed to throughout the season here. This has been a performance that's a little bit unlike the Jayhawks in recent games.
55 seconds left on the power play for Drury as Kansas wins the draw. Kansas with it now, Lane. Lane to Johnson. Johnson back, circles it around behind the net to Bullard. Bullard. Jayhawks try a 5-on-4. Offensive possession in front to Bullard. Bullard tries to dangle it in and unable to. Good setup pass there by Lane. Long shot there for Kansas by Nessa. Unable to as Drury finally gets the puck back. Cedric Cardinal with it. Cardinal gives it back out to O'Connor. O'Connor rings it around the boards again, back to Cardinal.
Seems to be a bit of an obvious point here, but Drury seems to be playing a lot more comfortable with Limpert in net.
Labutta's high shot off the boards, as we are 4 seconds left in this power play. Malcolm Johnson lays a man into the boards. Good hit by Malcolm Johnson. Out of the box now for Kansas, 5-on-5. They have a shot again. Drury just keeping this offensive possession alive, Jack. Drury with it now. It's out to Fournier, excuse me, that's 26. Limpert with it. Drury with it again. Drury shot, save, Ben Olsen.
Malcolm Johnson beat everything that you want a defenseman to be on the penalty kill there. He does a great job at getting guys just shoved around, giving Ben Olsen a clear look at what's going on in front of him, and just generally he's good with his stick.
Yeah, Ben Olsen, one of the better goaltenders in D3 this year, ACHA, one of the best goaltenders in the country in that region, one of the best with the way he can move, and he moves very well.
Absolutely. He's ran away with the starter job recently this year.
1:54 left in the period. Draw won by Kansas. Drury immediately takes it away, though. Drury fighting around. Man goes down for Drury, and that's going to be another penalty on Kansas as we get a hook. 2 minutes.
Aiden Siddon's not too happy about that call there. It looks like they got a bit tied up, and Aiden trying to plead his case, saying, or it looks like he's complaining a bit about one of the Drury guys holding on a little bit, maybe embellishing it a bit too much.
Aiden Siddon's going to sit for 2 minutes for a hooking, and this Drury power play goes back to work, looking to equalize as they'll have a power play for what's left of this period and into next period.
1:46 left on the clock here. 2-minute power play. The Jayhawks will end out this period and start the next on a penalty kill.
Drury power play out again. There's the captain, O'Connor. O'Connor tries to find Serrato, isn't able to. Ends up getting taken by Cardinal. Cardinal skating behind the net with it now. Cardinal fights it off to Fournier. Fournier with it to Serrato. Serrato shot, tries to go 5-hole. Blocked out by Ben Olsen, and Kansas clears.
Kansas doing a great job of clearing it out and not overcommitting too terribly much. Kansas knows that Drury loves their odd man rushes here.
Fournier to Serrato. Back to the captain, O'Connor, and taken away by the Jayhawks. Thought Drury was going to have an opportunity there. It's 2-on-1. Kansas shot wide by Hudson Huber. Here comes Drury now trying to get the advantage. Drury with it. Drury skating in. That's Fournier, and that one's going to be up into the netting for a stoppage with 46.2 left in this period.
Amazing stick play here. Huber just waiting for his chance to strike as he goes in, goes with the interception and gets that odd man rush. Unfortunate that he got a bit tripped up there, having a bit of issues, but he has been outstanding tonight. He is all over the place. I would love to see him, if he could track how many miles that he's skated tonight.
Jayhawk penalty kill has 46 seconds left in this period, and then they're going to have about another 20 seconds in the next period. As Drury trying to get this power play going. Off to 24 Schmitz. That one's wide, goes around. Taken out by 86 Stagel. Stagel finds 24 Schmitz again.
Jayhawks standing around
Looks like
a little
got
bit
two
here.
players that go down. Drury in prime position. That one's a shot by Stagel, and that goes wide. Just didn't get it on his stick. Drury still threatening. Clapper blocked away with the pad by Ben Olsen. Drury keeps it in. That's 26. That's Limpert, excuse me. We're getting chaotic out here. And John Feeney whiffs on the pass. Drury's going to have another opportunity. Drury checks up. Here's Drury. Shot. Saved by Ben Olsen, and there's the end of the period. As Kansas kind of escapes danger there. They were not in the right spots there at the end. Drury had an opportunity, wasn't able to take advantage of it before the horn.
I am sure that Coach McConnell is going to have some choice words for the team in the locker room after this here. A lot that needs to be worked on. Jayhawks need to be a lot more aggressive. I can't tell if they're just gassed or, they're not quite sure what to do with Drury here. Drury's been hyper-aggressive this period, pushing when a little more often than we were used to in the first here. I'm sure the Jayhawks are going to have a lot to adjust to, and they're going to have a lot to talk about today.
5-4, Kansas clinging desperately to a one-goal advantage over Drury right now. Drury really has all the momentum. Kansas just can't get out of their own way. They've spent too much time in the penalty box. We'll see if they can get that adjusted this intermission. 5-4, Kansas leads Drury. Another period in the books. We're going to head to intermission. One more period to play here at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. You're listening and watching Jayhawk Hockey on the Kansas Hockey YouTube channel.
And we are back here at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. I am Jack Maurice, and while my partner Daniel Schmidt has decided to go to the bathroom and be back in a second here, I will hold on to the fort here as the Jayhawks drop the puck as we start the third period. Jayhawks are up 5-4 right now, although they will be on the penalty kill for 5 more seconds here. Jayhawks able to clear it out as Drury lines back up for another offensive zone rush.
Jayhawks played really, really good in the first period. Second period, they've come out flat. They came out flat. Third period, let's see what they can do, Jack. So I'm back.
Yeah. Oh, look at you, Dan. We're so proud of you.
I made it. Thought we had more time. There was a lot of time on the clock, but guess they didn't use it. Shot.
This is Jayhawk hockey.
Jayhawk hockey, baby. Shot deflected behind the net. Hearn goes back to pick it up. Hearn to Siddons as we got a little something on the ice, and it gets Siddons to blow a tire. So it looks like somebody left a skate guard on. There's a skate guard on the ice. One of our linesmen goes to pick it up. Hearn tries to take it around. Hearn still maintains possession even though he's got 2 Panthers on him. Goes off the board, and they've got a breakaway. 2-on-0 for Drury. Drury shot, score! Drury with a goal. That's Gannon Stagel, and it's all knotted up. 5 apiece.
How can you give that up? That was just a horrible miscue in the neutral zone by the Jayhawks there. Just overcommitting to just all the way. That did not need to have all of those defensemen up to the red zone. Just a brutal, brutal sequence for the Jayhawks here. Once up 5-2, this game is all tied up. As Dan is going to continue to eat his Crunch Bar.
I had to do it in honor of Ryan Cartman as the puck has been dropped now. Gotta feel it.
Channel your inner Ryan
Fournier
Cartman.
Out to one of his other guys, ends up turning it over. Malcolm Johnson now with the Jayhawk puck. Johnson lays off the check. Good. I thought he was going to go into the boards there, but Johnson lays off as Nessa with it now.
Should know a little bit better.
Oh, they've got it again. Shot, score! Riley O'Connor, oh captain, my captain, and there's the lead for Drury.
Just a textbook Chelcol there. 2-on-0. He passed it at the last second. It was all blue and made it right back into the back of the net there. Just another brutal defensive sequence for the Jayhawks. They're being a little too aggressive here, or even then they're not being aggressive enough, or they're not playing defense enough. It just seems like the Jayhawks are just gliding around out there.
Kansas has to figure something out, Jack. They are bleeding right now. They are bleeding. Drury with possession of the puck behind their own net. Looks like somebody blew a tire. Kansas with the opportunity for the net, unable to cash in. Turns back over. Drury with the puck now. Drury skating out of their defensive zone. Drury just going to dump it in. Get fought off there. It's 28 for Kansas. That's Nick Callahan. Callahan to Huber. Excuse me, to number 20. That's Landis. Landis to Huber. It's a delayed offsides. Kansas has to check out. Like we're going to get a hooking call on Drury. Crucial power play here, Jack. Drury's going to go to the box. That's number 16, Richard Bizant. He's going to go sit for 2 for hooking.
Just a brutal sequence for Drury there. After having all the momentum swing in their favor, it's time for the Jayhawks power play to come back out here. They've had 1 power play goal tonight, but otherwise nothing else. I think, if I'm correct, they are 1 for 3.
They're 1 for 3, that's right, Jack, as Rowan Vaughn with it now at the blue line. Vaughn over to the captain, Siddons shot, stopped in front. Drury clears, great start to this penalty kill for Drury. Vaughn retreats.
Looks like Rowan Vaughn just saw that shot all the way through there, but it was just the great roll of Drury keeping that puck out. I was looking at the back of the neck, waiting for that to go through.
Siddons scoops it around to Lane. Lane out to Vaughn again. Vaughn to Lane. Go back and forth. Back to Vaughn. Vaughn. Shot. Deflected away by Limpert. Vaughn with it on his stick again. Vaughn shot. Stopped there by Drury. That went off a Drury man. That's Caleb Limpert. Kansas tries to find a pass and it goes wide. Drury's going to get clear. Here comes a man. Ben Olsen comes out to play it as a Drury guy runs Vaughn into the boards.
Seems like both teams have had some issues blowing tires today. Slippery all around on the newly Zamboni
Siddons
ice.
with it now. Siddons behind the net. Siddons lays it right in for Bullard, unable. Goes Bullard. Vaughn back to Bullard. Bullard trying to find where his best option is. It's back to Vaughn. Vaughn shot. Save by Limpert as he just swallows it up.
Sounds like it hit one or two guys there going right into the crest of his jersey. Just a rough sequence for the Jayhawks there, slipping and sliding all around. Not much opportunity for them there.
39 seconds left on the power play for the Jayhawks. Can they cash in? Kansas trails by 1 goal after giving up 2 in the first minute and a half of this period. Lane with it now as the music still plays. We're dancing and moving to a groove in. Siddons with it. Siddons tries to find a cross-ice pass, isn't able to, but the deflection goes right back to Vaughn. Deflected again, blocked I should say, by Drury as Bullard has it. Bullard swings and misses on the pass, and Drury is going to be able to clear it. Just barely. Rowan Vaughn keeps it in. I thought that was an obvious clear. Siddons shoots, scores! Brett Siddons hits the top of the net, makes the water bottle jump, and we're all knotted up here at Advent Health Sports Park.
What a snipe by the captain there. He's been trying for that all night. Stands tall into the point and goes for the snipe up top. What a way to respond there.
As the power play is expiring, Brett Siddons finds the equalizer, and we're knotted at 6, Jack. This game's been insane.
Just what a sequence there. It's been back and forth all night. First, Kansas scores a minute in. Then it's tied 2-2. Then Kansas goes up 5-2, and now we are tied 6-6. What a game. Kansas
tried to control off the faceoff, is unable to. Now it's Brody Bean with the puck. Bean back out for Drury. There's a check laid by Luke Nessa. Back around to number 5. That's Anson Kyle, the junior. Bean trying to get it there. It's going to end up being taken by Braxton Landis. Landis shoots it down. Aiden Siddons going for the puck. No icing, waved off. Siddons got there. Siddons passes out to Nessa. Nessa trying to work around to somebody. He's got nobody home. Drury's going to get the puck. Nessa's got to check back up quick. Siddons stops the puck for the Jayhawks. Plays some good defense there. As there's a puck battle in front of the Kansas bench with one of our referees right in the middle. Aiden Siddons with the puck now. He's 1-on-3. Siddons unable to take control as Drury's just going to ride him off. Luke Nessa going to shoot it in. Kansas going for a change.
Kansas playing a lot more offensively minded while also still being a little more responsible, keeping both defensemen back, not pushing up quite as hard as they were previously.
Jimmy Cannon chases the puck down, pass off to Hudson Huber. Huber finds Aiden Siddons. Aiden Siddons right into the chest of Fournier. So he's kick it off, and Braxton Landis going to go for a line change. Drury trying to find something here. Just a lot of sloppy hockey here after that goal, Jack. Everybody just trying to find something as there's another sloppy pass turnover. Shot too high there by Riley O'Connor, the captain, as that one's going to be covered up by Ben Olson, and we'll have a face-off.
So we have some extracurriculars behind the net. I think somebody may be assessed a penalty after that.
Looked like Drury was acting like it should be on Kansas. See if anybody goes and sits. John Feeney, Brett Siddons on the ice there.
Looks like no penalty will be assessed after that little scrum behind the net.
Officials know how these things are. I mean, this is a tightly contested game, 6 goals aside. Kansas with 33 shots. Drury has equalized after Kansas controlled the shot game quite easily. As Drury trying to find a centering pass, unable. Man goes down, no arm. Drury with the ball back, excuse me, I should say puck back.
Wrong sport, Dan.
My bad,
Hey, it's okay, because it's also Daniel Schmidt, voice of the Kansas women's basketball team. Am I right?
I'm unfortunately not, I don't call the games, I write the games, but we're close.
You're good enough for me, Dan. You're my voice.
I will be there on KJHK for a couple basketball games, we'll see. A couple men's basketball, we'll hope. Yes. Drury with the puck now. Drury trying to work it around, ends up turning it over. Jayhawks' first defensive pairing out there. There's turnover for the Jayhawks. Breyer defensive turnover. ends up putting Olsen in danger. Kansas, here they come. There's Ives. Feeney trying to get in the spot. Ives takes it himself. Glove hand save, Limpert. Stoppage.
Kansas doing a little too many snipe attempts there. They've already beaten him a couple of times, but unfortunately that's not going to go every time. It looks like that Lang had the opportunity to kind of slow the game down, try and cycle it through a little bit, but just opts for the shot instead, and that's an easy save by Limpert.
Face off. Taken by Drury. Here comes Drury. They have a 2-on-1. Drury skating quick, and it's going to end up corralling around and not going to be in their best interest. Drury trying to figure it out now. Here they come. Drury lays it into 16. Richard Bisnat. Bisnat was the one who was sitting in the box on the Brett Siddons power play goal that equalized this one. Tries a centering pass, ends up getting taken away by Kansas. Here come the Jayhawks. Rowan Vaughn with it now. Vaughn has George Bullard with him. Vaughn dangling. Vaughn shot. Score! Count it. Rowan Vaughn puts it in the back of the net. What a beautiful goal, and the Jayhawks reclaim the lead.
Gorgeous, gorgeous goal there. What a shot by Rowan Vaughn. He dangles, he waits, he does what he does best. He scores to give the Jayhawks a 7-6 lead.
7-6.
Unbelievable. Oh, man.
Unbelievable. The Jayhawks take the lead back after giving it away so many times tonight, Jack, but they fight back, and here we are with another lead for the Jayhawks.
It has been an incredibly sloppy game, a very sloppy period for both teams here, both just tripping and giving the puck up, but in this time, it ends up in Kansas's favor.
Jayhawks trying to add on to this score here as they have the momentum. Panthers, shoot it back in behind the net of Ben Olsen. Here are the Panthers. That's Stagel with it. Stagel dangling behind. Stagel in front, isn't able to find anybody. Gets his own pass rebound. So he gets ridden off the puck there by the Jayhawks, number 28, Nick Callahan. Stagel with it still. Ends up finding a man, shot across. Look for a shooting pass, Stagel again. That one's a broken stick for a Jayhawk. That's Hudson Huber who broke the stick there.
Not too happy about that stick breaking as it just kind of goes flying across the ice. I'm sure he'll get a bit of a warning after that outbreak there.
Those are expensive, Jack. Those are expensive.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not happy with that at all.
That is
especially
sure not a purchase that he's wanting to make here.
Yeah, never fun. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's a college student here. Not fun to have to go expense one of those out. Face off to the left of Ben Olsen. Won by the Panthers. Panthers keep it in on the blue line. Shot around by number 11. That's Salinpa. Shot across to Huber. Pass across to Huber. Here come the Jayhawks. Huber shot. Swallowed up there by Limpert. We're going to have another stoppage. 11:54 left in this hockey game.
Huber is a rocket, just flying down the ice there. It is just incredible. He has been all over the place today. His total skated mileage is got to be off the charts here.
Brett Siddons and the Jayhawks, first line out there. Face off. Ives with it. Drury finds a long pass, number 8, Cardinal. Shot blocked by Roberts. The Roberts deflection, passed by Brett Siddons. That one's going to come down and be an icing. 11:37 left on the clock. It's going to come out
Zach
towards
Roberts
Ben Olsen.
not pressing as much there as you can kind of see as he's just waiting for Drury to come down his side. Not pushing up too much as he's made that mistake a couple of times in the past this game, giving them that odd man rush. He stays square, blocking the shot, blocking the passing that he has been incredible tonight.
Siddons lines up once more for the face-off with Nick Lowe.
Puck just bouncing around there.
It's moving and grooving. Just kind of a stagnant puck there for a second. It looked like nobody on the Jayhawks saw it as Drury's fighting off. They are playing hard right now. They know they need a goal. as Brett Siddons gets possession again for Kansas. Here comes Brett Siddons past the center line. Brett Siddons with it now. He's got John Feeney to his right. Brett Siddons dangling and score, and they're going to wave it off. Yeah, they are going to wave that one off. I agree with that one. I think John Feeney knocked the net off and was in the crease.
See, even in Matcha Silver Division hockey, as well as the NHL, goalie interference controversy runs rampant. I'm going to have to disagree with you there. I think that kind of no matter what was going on there, it looked like there was a bit of a collision, but I don't think that was quite enough to constitute goalie interference. But it is the referee's call. I could understand why he would call for that.
It doesn't really help him out that the net came off.
No,
I mean, when the net comes off like that, the team that knocks the net off is almost never going to get the benefit as we get a neutral zone face-off over here as that Kansas goal is erased. Waved off immediately by our referee.
Kansas has been a bit lazy with their clearances tonight. It's been a lot of hitting the legs of players, a la Corton Pareko on the Blues. I've seen that a little.
How many Blues guys can you shout out tonight?
We
got to see how many
you can get in. I don't know if
I'm
calling it a shout out. Let's not say that.
How many Blues guys can you mention?
More than you would think.
If you stay tuned towards the end of this game, Jack will name as many Blues as he can. As Rowan Vaughn dangles through, and Limpert comes out of his net. O'Connor clears it right back to Malcolm Johnson. Johnson just going to flip that one in, let Kansas get some motion going. Missed pass there, turnover to Luke Nessa. Nessa tries to find lane. So, stick on the ground over there. Everybody on the ice has their stick. I wonder who it is. As headman pass to number 18, that's O'Connor, the captain O'Connor. Cuts up, O'Connor beat Nesta there, but lost the puck. As Drury's going to have to figure that one out here in the last 10 minutes of action. Bullard skating up. Bullard scoots around, fighting for possession right now with Salampa. Back out, and Johnson not able to keep it in for Kansas. Here comes Drury. That's Fournier. Had an opportunity there. Kansas takes back over. Hudson Huber has it at center ice. Huber dumps it off the boards and around by that rogue stick. Aiden Siddons with a nice shoulder check there. Rode him off the puck, but Drury maintains possession. Here comes Drury. Drury's going to have an opportunity. Drury headman pass to 16, lays it in, unable to get it as Braxton Landis going to come up with the puck, and Landis rode to the ground, no penalty. Kansas fans wanted it, they aren't going to get it. Headman pass, Drury kind of cherry picking back there, not to Nick Callahan's liking, excuse me, as he knocks one off. Drury has to check back here and figure it out.
It's been a whole game of cherry picking, it feels like, of just a lot of people sticking around the blue line of each opposing zone and hoping for something to happen.
Score tells it, 7-6. So we have 13 goals here with 8 minutes to play in the third period. 8.5, I should say. That's Landis. Drury ends up with the puck again. That's number 26 for Drury, Limpert. Limpert out to 16, Bizant. Oh, they look like it. Drury had a wide opportunity. The Kansas defense shows up good there. Looked like Drury had an opportunity to shoot at an empty net, and they just couldn't do it. Drury shoots it back behind the net of Ben Olsen. Turnover by the Jayhawks again as we play Ring Around the Rosie here. It's once again behind the net of Ben Olsen. Out to Roberts. Roberts looks for Aiden Siddons, ends up putting it right in Limpert's pocket. Limpert's going to pass it off to one of his D-men.
Haven't had much time to clean up the ice there. That lone stick is still kind of hanging out back in the corner there.
The rogue stick's still there. It's been there for about 5 minutes. We'll let you know if that plays any factor here as it's going to, oh, there's a big hit by Nick Wollington, the hometown kid. Roberts shoots it around, and there's our linesman yelling the delayed offsides. That's one of the loudest linesmen I've ever heard.
In case you didn't know, that was a delayed offsides. Thank you, linesman.
I think he said off a couple times. Drury with the puck again. Is neither team able to get anything going. It's just back and forth and an icing, and finally a stoppage so we can pick up that stick.
That rogue stick will finally be picked up.
He can go home finally. Let's see whose team is it on. Is it Drury again? Because Drury's lost the stick twice.
One.
They've lost the stick twice tonight.
One of their players on the bench is clamoring for his stick back.
24. The rogue stick belonged to Caleb Schmitz on Drury's defense. He finally returns home after a long shift on the ice there for the stick, upwards of 5 minutes. KU has the first line out. Harry Ives, Brett Siddons, John Feeney. Second D pairing, Malcolm Johnson and Luke Nessas. Drury's going to control the face-off here. Drury shooting in. Here's Drury. Drury looking for something. They need to tie this up. Shot, score! Drury scores again, and it's 7-7. Let's see who goes first in line. Who had the goal?
Number 59, it looks like.
59, Brady Kangas kind of avenges a couple of minor penalties that cost the Panthers earlier, and we're even again, 6:58 left in this game.
Yet again, we are tied once more. I have a feeling this game is going to come down to a dumb penalty to cause a dumb power play goal. That is my prediction.
We'll see. It's not a bad prediction the way this game's going as Drury controls off the faceoff. Drury dumps it in behind the net of Olsen. Malcolm Johnson fights off a man, lets his deep pairing mate, Luke Nessa, pick it up. Nessa shoots it up to Drury. Drury has it again. Kansas still has that one line out, Jack. Trying to find something. They need to manufacture something here. Because that one is dumped in for John Feeney to try and get. Feeney goes to the feet, off his feet, and Brett Siddons is shaken up there. We're going to have a delayed penalty on, it looks like Drury number 2 for slashing. That's why Brett Siddons was in pain.
Kansas power play converted last time. They are 2 for 4 tonight, albeit on a very late power play goal, but that's all that matters. If they can take the lead in this game and ride it out here, this could be the difference between a win.
That's the number 1 left D, Neil Serrato for Drury, heading to the box, hometown Fenton, Missouri, Jack.
Absolutely, and this is going to be very important, having this power play out. This is a great team to have out there when you want that last second goal.
Siddons to Vaughn. Vaughn shoots it in front, trying to find Bullard. Bullard unable to get it. Drury scoots it away. Kansas trying to keep this puck in. They aren't able to. Brett Siddons chases it down. Siddons getting pressed there by 37, Labutis. Siddons shoots it around the boards looking for Lane. Lane lets it go for Vaughn. Vaughn across to Siddons. Siddons from center ice. Siddons to Lane. Lane off the side of the net. Gets his own rebound. Matthew Lane with it behind the net now. Back to Siddons. Siddons shot. Deflected up high. No good. Rowan Vaughn with the rebound. Lane with it now. Vaughn. Clapper. Stopped in the pads by Limpert.
Rowan Vaughn was the hero last power play. He has been all over this offensive zone matchup. He is just getting every shot chance possible, going for the clapper at the end. But I would say this is definitely the clutch team that you want there. You have Lang, Siddons, Vaughn, and Bullard as well. This is exactly who you want out there to get that last second goal.
I want it that way. All right, Kansas, thank you. Kansas still on the power play. Rowan Vaughn to Matthew Lane. Lane shot blocked by Drury. Great spot for that Drury defender to be in. George Bullard with an out. Raced off the puck. That's Fournier. Out to Ben Olsen. Ben Olsen comes out of the crease. 51 seconds left on this Jayhawks power play. Can they pull away here in the final 5 minutes? Get a 1-goal advantage. We're tied at 7. Brett Siddons taken to the ice, and that one's going to be a stoppage. Looks like we're going to come to the neutral zone here for a face-off after that stoppage. 4:59 left to go in this game. This game's going to be a good one, folks. We got 38 seconds left on a KU power play. There have been 14 goals scored tonight, and dare I say it, there's going to be more. Somebody's got to score eventually.
Absolutely here.
Nessa leaves it out for Aiden Siddons. Siddons back to Malcolm Johnson. Johnson has to reestablish. Under 30 seconds left on his power play, and they're not able to keep it on. Jayhawks need to check up. Luke Nessa retrieves it and sends it over to Johnson. Johnson with the puck now. Jayhawks under 20 seconds left on his power play. They have one more good push left if they can get it off in time. Jayhawks without their ones. It looks like there's going to be a breakaway. Malcolm Johnson getting back just in time. Clapper by Fournier. No good. That's going to be rebounded right off the pads of Ben Olsen. Kansas coming back. Aiden Siddons back to full strength. Drury is. Siddons shoots. Not able to get all of it, though, as that one knuckles over the left shoulder of Limpert. Here comes Drury again. It's Riley O'Connor. O'Connor shoots. And that one's just easily pushed away by Olsen. Jayhawks moving again. Aiden Siddons, here he comes. Siddons not able to find it. Ends up knocking it off, going behind the back. And Limpert's going to bring a stop to that one and send us to another face-off.
3:56 left on the clock here, each with 7. A bit tough. This is, both teams want it bad, but both teams are getting to that point of the night. They are gassed and they are ready to get this going here. Jayhawks pushing out just an offensive powerhouse, but can't seem to get anything past Limpert.
Kansas controls the draw. Roberts out to Bullard. It's a turnover for Kansas again. They've struggled with those tonight. Here comes 14 for Drury. Nick Lowe. Nick Lowe dangles. Loses possession for a second, but gets it back. Gets fought off by Bullard. Ends up pushing it back to Stagel. Stagel with it. Back off. Drury trying to find something. Unable to find that centering pass there. Nobody home was Kangas. Stagel with it now. Drury turns it over once more. It's been a battle of turnovers, Jack. So there's another one. Rower Owen Vaughn in the right spot at the right time. You see how fast he skates right there. Shot, no good. Rowan Vaughn still fighting with it. Vaughn tries to go around. Yes. Limpert protects his net. Drury fighting it off as it's getting aggressive out here, Jack. Final 3 minutes of play.
Each team is ready to get this over with. They're pushing with all of their might, pushing up maybe a little too much than their coaches would be comfortable with, but they're ready to get this last goal.
Tip, no icing. Icing waved off. Lane fighting in on Drury number 11. That's Salampa. Shot, score! Goal, Matthew Lane. Jayhawks take the lead again.
What a disgusting goal by Lang there. He is down. It is just the most perfect last-ditch effort shot that you could ever ask for. That is what Coach McConnell wants. Just absolutely beautiful goal there. He's down on his knees. His stick is there. Limpert doesn't quite have total control of the puck, and he just pokes it 5-hole to get in the back of the net while he's not paying attention. What a goal with 2:37 left in the game.
What a goal. Jayhawks fight off and take the lead again. 2:30 left in this game. 8-7, 15 goals total. Oh my goodness, Jack. Jayhawks have the ones out. Drury with an opportunity if they go quick enough. Slap shot wide off the glass. No good. Drury still trying to stay there. Drury with the centering pass. Drury off his feet. Drury keeps it in. Great job by the defender Limpert there. So there's going to be a...
Looks like it'll be a penalty there. There was a bit of a trip up with the stick as it looks like John Feeney is going to the penalty box here. This is the last way that you want to spend the last 2 minutes of your game here.
Jayhawks are going to be on their toes.
So it looks like Drury is going to call a timeout here.
Drury's going to use their timeout. It's Luke Nessa going in the box as he's beside himself heading in there. 2:03 left. All but 3 seconds left in this game are going to be on a Drury power play.
This is going to be super tough. Coach McConnell and Coach Pruitt are going to have to really think about what they want to do with this here. Their power play, which has usually been elite, it's been phenomenal. It doesn't even feel like that they're on the penalty kill most games. tonight has been quite the opposite. Drury has owned them on the power play, and I'm sure as time starts winding down, it might become a 6-on-4 as they elect to pull Limpert, but it is getting to be crunch time for the Jayhawks. 2 minutes left, 2 minutes and 3 seconds left. Definitely threatening overtime.
Some really good energy there in the Jayhawks huddle. As Jack was talking, I was looking in there. Brett Siddons leading the conversation. Andy McConnell taking a back seat. Brett Siddons leads by example. Jayhawks are going to need each other here, Jack. They have 2 minutes to kill with a 1-goal advantage. 2 minutes and 3 seconds left. Buckle up, folks. This is going to be a good one. Puck drop. Drury takes. Drury dumps it off to Fournier. Fournier. As the Panthers are going to have to check up. As Jayhawks clear, Matthew Lane, really, really good job there. 1:43 left on the power play for Drury. Drury going to have to regroup here as Fournier is going to take it up the ice for them. Fournier kind of loses it, ends up finding it. There's Lurcano, as that one's right in front, fought off and cleared by the Jayhawks.
Matthew Lane just playing incredible, a la Patrice Bergeron there. He is a phenomenal defensive forward.
Really, really good defensive forward. I'm sure Chris Stone will be happy you shouted out a Boston Bruin. Roberts shoots it down to O'Connor, tries to clear. Brett Siddons on the ice now. He's going to be crucial for this last 1 minute of game. Kansas with a 1-goal lead. Jayhawks need to clean onto it. They can't let Drury score here, else we go to overtime. Brett Siddons with the goal, with the puck now. Brett Siddons.
Siddons doing an incredible job of just wasting time there, not trying to force an offensive possession, but just kill off the 46 seconds left in the period.
Behind the back pass is just going to go right back to Brett Siddons as Drury didn't want that. They can't afford to waste any time here, Jack. 30 seconds left on this power play. Here comes Feeney to Huber. Huber shot, no good, deflected back. Drury's going to take it. Drury trying to find something here as Huber goes down to the ice but gets up immediately, fighting back. O'Connor tries to find a man. He does. That's 26. That's Limpert. Limpert with the puck now. Limpert getting fought off by Huber. Limpert goes to the ground.
No call.
As there's 86. Stagel with it. Stagel to Cardinal, and his shot saved by Ben Olsen. 6.9 seconds left on the clock. 4 seconds left on this penalty.
Limpert is being called over to the bench, but he isn't seeing it. He's been called over about 3 or 4 times. This is going to be one of the most important possessions that the Jayhawks are going to have today.
Looks like he's hurt as he's getting helped over by one of our linesmen and one of his teammates. That's number 26, Caleb Limpert, the leading scorer on this Drury team. They will be without him for this final 6.9 seconds.
This is tough. This is going to be an important last possession. And if there's somebody that you want taking that face off, there's a lot of guys over there who not much more you could ask for from them.
Crowd comes to life. 6.9 seconds left. Kansas with a 1-goal lead. Going to a face-off. Drury has to win this as they have a 1-man advantage and an empty net. 2-man advantage as they're going to tell Drury, they're going to tell both guys to vacate the face-off circle. It's both benches and the fans come to life. Face-off draw won by Kansas. Kansas pushing off. Malcolm Johnson with it now. Penalty expired. They're just going to stand in the corner. Kansas is going to come away with a 1-goal victory as they barely eke this one out as a Drury guy just went down to the ice there.
What a gutsy win by the Jayhawks there. That penalty kill was exactly what we have been looking for and how they had been playing for the past couple of weeks here.
As Kansas is going to wait it out a little bit before heading over to congratulate Ben Olsen.
What a win.
8-7 victory for the Jayhawks tonight. As this one, whew, this was a handful, Jack. I guess that's the best way to say it.
Absolutely. I'm sure There's some things that I'm sure weren't too liked between the coaches, but if you're Coach McConnell, this is a win is a win. You take what you can get.
Jayhawks congratulate Ben Olson. Ben Olson allows in 7 goals on 36 shots, and then a combination of Limpert and Gons for Drury lets in 8 goals on 41 shots. Jack, what are the Jayhawks going to need to do better tomorrow to eke out another win?
Not take penalties. I'll make it short and easy. Oh, man, special teams killed them. That's for sure. Just the power play and the penalty kill were not too great on both ends here. Power play for the Jayhawks was acceptable, but penalty kill has a lot to be desired. But if it's anything like that last kill at the last 2 minutes, I'm sure Coach McConnell will be happy with tomorrow's performance if it's anything like that.
Now, Jack, if you're Drury, what do you change up for tomorrow? Do you keep the status quo because they kept it so close today, or do you want to change something up?
I think it's not the players. It's more of the strategy that was going in. When they started to play really hyper-aggressive, it seemed that they were making up those goals there and tied it right back up. I think that's exactly what Drury is going to have to do tomorrow in order to maintain competitiveness.
Kansas wins 8-7 in a high-scoring shootout here at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk.
Oh,
there we
man.
go. Look at us. Anyway, Jack and I. Thanks for having fun with us. I mean, I don't do this often. I'm stepping in Ryan's shoes. It was fun. We had fun. Sam Johnson, one of the new guys. He calls stuff for KJHK. Really, really good play-by-play guy. He'll take you solo tomorrow.
Shout out Jack Giannino for coming all the way out here. One of my good friends running camera for us tonight. We love you, Jack. Thanks, buddy.
Came up clutch tonight. Couldn't find a camera operator, so he stepped up when we needed it.
He's
really appreciated it from him. All right, as I said, Sam Johnson will have puck drop for you about 4:15, 4:30 tomorrow here for Advent Health Sports Park for the back half of this 2-game weekend series. Your final score: Kansas 8, Drury 7. For Daniel Schmidt, this is Jack.